Well, these last couple of months of the season are fun, aren't they? We get to decide and see who are the pretenders, who are the contenders here for the NRL Premiership, and then obviously a little bit around the fantasy side as well. And it is going to affect it because we see some teams really fall apart and we see some teams step up as they really ramp in to those final 6 rounds. And that's where we're at right now. And the Bunnies, this was one of those games where the Tigers actually played pretty solidly and were able to get fairly close in this game and get it to 2018 at one point, and before the Bunnies ran away with it, thankfully, to a try from our great man Cam Murray. And at the time, I was like, it was 20, what was he, 20 odd off 30 odd, and it was 53 minutes gone, and I was like, yep, beautiful. This is who I thought he was. People got lucky last week. Of course, I traded him in the wrong week, and that try at the end really, really saved us. And I saw a lot of people brought him in, so it's probably not going to matter as much right now as to how he goes. Very similar to that of like Harry Grant or some of the other really highly owned guys. But he was great again. Only one missed tackle this time. A couple of errors in the penalties is what's hurting him. He does seem to be having 6 to 10 negatives every game, but 63 minutes against the Tigers there. Hopefully he plays a few more in others, but I expect that he's going to be a 63 to 68 minute type of guy. Abby Coruscant, there's a few guys actually thinking about him, and I was saying a couple of days ago that he was a guy that you loop, or that is it. You just loop him and try and get a really high score, and this is one of them. A try saver, a try assist, big tackle numbers as well. And some kicking for him, 120 metres. So worked out well for Coruscant in this one. Just be aware that next week is a new week and he could be back down to a 30 very, very easily. So yeah, awesome score from Appy. And a big return from Latrell at 69 there with a try saver as well. No tries, no try assists in this one, no line break. So very impressive for that of Latrell. 11 tackle breaks and a couple of offloads there to really shore up the score of 69. And as we said, he's one of those guys that's going to be the mainstay keepers in the wing fullback, and he returned beautifully. So yeah, if you're looking at him, a buy in round 26, sure. But if you happen to have an injury in the wing fullback position, or if you went for him over Teddy or something like that, you're absolutely cheering. So good stuff there. AJ, where are you, Scoop? Another big score from AJ with 3 tries in this one and a try assist. So yeah, incredible work from Johnston in this one. Cam Murray, as we said, the 64. You got Stefano, had it end up with 8 tackle breaks, which is pretty crazy. Pole scored a try. Isaiah Papali'i, 53 with a try off a kick. So for him, they're very low run meters. They're really underutilizing him again. So frustrating how this happens, but thankfully no missed tackles for him. It was a blemish-free game, thank goodness, because it could have been pretty low without that try if he had a few missed tackles and an error or something like that as well. So he continues to be solid, IPAP. And it's probably what we need at this point. Just a low 50s kind of each and every week would work just fine. Yeah, Cook there with 47. Twali, a big PPM game for him with a line break. Good on him. Cookie 47. Just not great, guys. The hooking position apart from Harry Grant, as we said, not great at the top dogs anyway, unless you're Lockie Croker. Isaiah Tassler 48. We had Bateman 46. So he had a really tough start. He had a couple of missed tackles, an error, a penalty. Majority of that fairly early in this game. Very low run meters as well at the 58 mark. So for him, 39 tackles, 2 misses. It's average. Run meters are really down as well. So yeah, you can see that both edges, they didn't really get out there too much. Even guys like Twali, 88 meters for him. Clem 102. So very, very low on the run meter side for the Tigers there. Brooksy had 100. Buller had 100 there. He had 128 from Junior Tupou. But low across the board for those guys there. Cody Walker, the 44, didn't get involved in as much as we would have hoped if you did look to grab him just for the run home and their nice run of games. Surprisingly, not him and Latrell didn't have a try assist each, so which is crazy. Ilias was better. Kolomatangi 40 with the try and a line break. It's pretty disgusting and shows why I personally think these guys shouldn't be in our sides. The Olakuatus, the Kolomatangis, they're just okay. They're going to get games like this where it's like a line break try. It's like you should be getting 70 and then you get a 40. It's like, ugh, yuck. In 80 minutes too. 20 tackles, 4 misses. Just shows that how little the Tigers had the ball, to be honest with you there. If they the run numbers up for the Tigers, he'd be having more tackles for sure. And that's something to think about there with guys like Murray as well, with the 34 tackles there. Fairly low for him after getting high 40s last week. So that's that there. Buller with 36. So if you did hold on to him, a try saver and a line break assist as well. But other than that, two offloads, three tackle breaks. Nothing crazy on his front there. But much better than Campbell Graham if you did look to grab him, which I doubt many people did. But if you did, Bit of a shocker on that front. And yeah, Host down there 17 in 58 minutes, so doing his job again, as always, right? And Dane Laurie 11, so he's been pretty good in that 6th position and just didn't work out today, and got taken off with 8 minutes to go. Will Smith came on for 1 off 10. But yeah, what we're looking at here is a Bunnies team that need to get into gear, given they're the bottom of the 8 there. And outside, they need to click into gear and start winning these games. And this is a great warm-up, I think, for them. And then make sure there's going to be 1 or 2 tougher games in there, which I think is going to be good for them heading into the final. So building some confidence, getting them into the 8. The hardest part here is who's going to be coming out of the 8. And it looks like at this stage that the Eels may not make the 8. And you're looking at this Storm game against them, 46-16 is pretty disgusting after they got humiliated last week, basically, aside from a couple of late tries there off the work of Gutho and Moses there to score a couple. Coming into this one and the Storm absolutely dominating and showing how they're likely going to be a top 4 side there for sure. Scores have not been updated for this one, so I will do my best to fix a few of them. Hughesy got over the ton. It's 103 for him. HopGOOOD down to 88. Grant down to 73. A lot of downgrades. Madison down to 62, unless you're a Munster or Moses holder. 63 for Munster. 56 for Moses. I believe 43 for Penasini. Maybe just 50, I think, for Cartwright. Just from my general thoughts there. I didn't even notice Trent Liero. 50. Of course he did, mate. Where's that? Where was that a month ago? But Hughesy, dominant. And was that try assist he got? No, he scored. Yeah, he scored that try. He went through early on in the game for his try. When he got through, Brendan Hands was a bit of he needed to do a second effort and he just didn't have it. And then they just took him off. He just got hooked from that. So 10, I think it was 9 in the end. In his 29 minutes, he had 15 tackles, 3 misses. And then they hooked him and brought Joey Lussick on, and Lussick played the rest of the time. So not good. I think pretty tough when Hands has actually been really solid for him to get hooked from one mistake, but it was an effort play that he didn't have. So we'll start with Hands there. That's a frustrating one for us owners because the price isn't a big worry for us because likely we have limited trades left, but we want to have him as a guy that we can have as a fairly reliable guy in the 30s, and if he's going to play 30 minutes a week or 35 or 50 or whatever it's going to be, it'll be low scores for him. So that's a frustrating one, and he might be a guy that we do just look to straight swap if we do get into a bit of a pinch, and he is not going to be a reliable scorer, and he's missing that round 27 for us, that we straight swap him to a 450, 500k guy, whatever we've got at the time. Might be 400 by the time he drops down. Just as someone that's going to score a reliable 30 to 40, I think, at this point. And there's always those guys that do pop up, and if there's injuries that come to teams, then those guys will pop up. So that's how I'd be looking at him. Hopefully next week he plays bigger minutes and he's fine. Thankfully, I shouldn't need him. I'll just have Max King out, and I'll have Johnson returning back to the side. So should be okay unless there's any further injuries there. But yeah, Hughesy was incredible, guys. 4 try assists. And a try for him. HopGOOOD, the 88. There was talks for myself to either trade Moses or HopGOOOD, and I chose correctly, thankfully. With Moses, a little bit under, obviously, where he's priced at. So, again, he should be hitting around that 60-ish. 61 is where we want him to be at his price. So, 56, a little bit under that. And, traded him to Murray. So, this week, it's a win. And hopefully Garrick is a big win against the Dragons, because that's, we traded Buller for 36 to Garrick, and hopefully it's a 50 plus or even bigger against the Dragons there. That's the plan. But yeah, HopGOOOD, just one of those guys, like massive minutes in this one, 76, and really, he was one of their better players, so they were trying to keep him on there as long as possible. And maybe next week he's a bit lower. We'll have to see. But himself and also Madison both got the bigger minutes in this one. And Davey, they played the 60, and Madison ended up on that edge. So he got some extra time. And we know his work that he can put in, especially on that edge. I think he's great when he plays big minutes there. It's very rarely he gets under a 50, under a 55 there when he plays that full 80 on the edge. So mixing between middle and edge is a great kind of scenario for Ryan. But a try assist and an offload very early on was massive for him. But a lovely pass there to HopGOOOD. So thank you, Ryan. We'll take that one for sure. And the rest of his work, as I said, a couple of offloads to ground, obviously. Just accumulating those stats, which is what he loves to do. But Harry Grant, 2 early tries was a lovely bit of work from dummy half, and then a lovely line run in the end off Hughes that almost missed him. He was too busy looking around and doing his thing, and then turned his head and went, "Oh, Harry, you're running onto this hard. Let's give it to you." So yeah, great work from him. End up with 6 missed tackles, I believe, but good tackle numbers, and obviously the 2 tries, 2 line breaks. You're not going to you're not going to score bad if you're Harry with that kind of stat, which is great. Josh King, what about him? 72 massive minutes and a massive score for him without Nelson. You had Eli Katoa back, but yeah, didn't matter for Joshy King. Marion Seve is a big one we need to speak about because he scores really well when he plays. If you look at his average, he seems to be very close to a 40 anytime he plays. And now that he's back fit, I think there's a good chance. Obviously, if Remus is out for a little bit, I'm not exactly sure how that is happening with Remus, but we'll find out a little bit more. He's one of those guys that comes in and he does a really good job. And him and young Tonamapea are very capable backups, aren't they? And I think they really like Remus Smith for his defense. But Seve had 14 tackles for 0 misses, which was great on that side there. And then Welchie went big with 63 in 50 minutes, which is pretty crazy for him. Very limited on the negatives and got his tackles in, got his numbers in, and some offloads as well, which is great. Munster went up to 63, so got that. Man, he's twinkle toes. Hey, I don't think there's anyone better in the game, being light on their feet and being able to just step sideways very quickly. Obviously, he's not one that's sprinting onto the ball like a Ponga, a Walshy with the sweeping play kind of thing. It's more just like he can see all where the gaps are, where the defenders are, and how he can basically go untouched. I think out of that, I think 5 people missed him, but I think he only got a couple of tackle breaks because the other guys were just air swings, or they weren't even getting close to him, which is incredible. Three offloads early, big run meters, a few kick meters, obviously. And lower on the negatives for him, only 3 missed tackles with his try. So awesome for Munster, 63 for him. If you've grabbed him, he's been really solid, 56, 58, 63, I think the last 3 weeks. So yeah, you're absolutely happy with that. Moses, still a few errors in the game there. 1 for him there, a couple of missed tackles, which is much better than last week. Of course, he picks up 11 the week before, so they didn't run at him in that way. They didn't isolate him as much as they did the week before because he still got 18 tackles, so they ran at him for sure. 20 times they did, and he was good enough for 18 of the 20, which was good. 2 goals for him, 1 try assist, and 2 line break assists. So one of those games for him to get 56 with this kind of stat line, without the try assists, without the tries, it means he's back to some of his normal scoring and fantasy wise, but they're in a lot of trouble. As I was saying there, Storm are looking much better, but they just can't seem to be really consistent. Consistent enough to win games, but not look great. And they're still in the fight for the top 4, and the Eels are really in trouble. It'll actually be interesting to see if that bye in round 27 helps them, or if they actually need like point differential and stuff in that last week, which they won't get in a bye, which would be interesting. Junior there, 53, Trent 50, Cartwright 49 or 50, whatever they gave him. Now I think Kelly Katoa went up over 50 as well. So welcome back to Ellie, a good try from him. All of those guys, semi-relevant obviously is Cartwright. And Liera, I think most people have traded him out. Penasini down to 43. Defensively, he was really good. I think he got his missed tackle right at the end, and had the 20 for none at one point, which was good. 1 offload, 3 tackle breaks, a line break there. Just down the sideline. There wasn't any tackle breaks with that one, and 125 meters. So yeah, and it's one of those passes that Moses just threw across his face, and it was like I suppose Madison he either doesn't pass it or it goes behind him and he still catches it and doesn't get to do anything with it. But this one from Moses went in front of him, and yeah, they're just not really in sync. And for him to get 43 when a team gets smashed like that, I'm very happy with it. Obviously, I want more for sure, but when they win, I'll expect more. Basically, is how we're going to play that one. Meany with 7 goals and a try saver, which was good for his 43, but he's not one you want longer term. Gutho wasn't his best game. What about the bald head on him? So it's funny. It looks so different, doesn't it, when someone goes from long hair to full shave? If they're fairly short already and they shave it, it's like, it's different. But so different. So I was like, is that Gutho? I had the 1 on the back, obviously, and there you go. Eisenhuth got the 40 minutes in the end, so if you're holding him, he's not going to lose too much. Moretti with a nice try. Good on him. One of the only bright spots for this Eels side, and we spoke about hands already, so that's it. There are the 2 games for Friday. We have 3 coming up today. Raiders up against the Knights early, so Horsburgh, the Taps, Seb Cruz, if anyone has to play him, or anyone that looped Manu, you dogs. And then Ponga, Marzu, Frizzell, if anyone grabbed him. Then we got the fun one in the secondary game with Garrick and DCE, for those that are all in on them. And Jack DeBellin hopefully gets the big minutes in this one. It's close and he needs to play the full 80. And then Cleary captain against Hines Clapton. It's gonna be a fun day, guys. I hope you really enjoy it. We'll catch you in that next one tomorrow.